going to the Energy Ministry, the production of energy and then the sale of energy. In most cases, there's a gap. What do you intend doing to make sure that you help your minister to fill up that gap as to the losses in the electricity sector?
End user, who is the consumer of electricity. There is technical losses that arise as a result of the transmission, and losses at the distribution level, at the sales level. All I can do to help the minister is to help in the diagnosis of the problem. The problems are known, but to bring to bear deeper understanding from the technical viewpoint, working with the ECG to support the minister to make sure the losses are brought down. Thank you.
Don't you think that the solution is also necessary?
Yes, I agree. The solution is very necessary. Chairman, the solution at the technical, some are social and human, like pilferage at the ECG distribution level. But there, I must say, unless you work with the industry participants, the ECG themselves through the minister, so whatever role the minister assigns me in that respect, I will. But let me remark that as we speak, I cannot even tell whether I'll be assigned to the power sector. So at the moment, let's take it that we are thinking through the problem.
And how do you intend to increase coverage under SHEP?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I am not privy to it. I have a knowledge about it. And self-help electrification projects, SHEP. And in projects like this, it's necessary to work under the minister's instruction, whether I will be assigned a role at all, and whatever capacity I have, I can bring to bear, I will help increase the outcome of the project. Thank you.
Congratulations, my sitting mate. He sits near me. Looking at your CV, I've realized that you've not had any technical training as such in the area of energy. What exactly are you bringing to this ministry? That solar energy as a renewable energy source has not been very effective in Ghana. And my fear is that a time will come where we may even have dysfunctional panels, creating a problem of e-waste. So what measures can we put in place to make sure that solar energy is very effective, and also that one day we'll not have a lot of solar panels that are dysfunctional, solar lights that are dysfunctional, and therefore a lot of e-waste that we have to grapple with in future? Thank you.
I think at the level of standardization, the quality of the product, we see panels, but we can be sure that just like any other product, there could be product deficiencies. So at the level of standardization, something can be done to bring in quality panels throughout the range, and that will help us avoid the many dysfunctional solar panels. Thank you.
With precision, when will you up the coverage of electricity from 82% to 90%?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know this year we want to push the coverage from the 83.24% to 85%. But that is what has been led by the minister, or that is what has been stated by the minister. To 90%, I must say, subsequent objectives or targets set by the minister, I am there to serve him.
Speaking as a scientist, I heard you tell Dr. Elu that precision, 90, 2018, 2019, 2020. Let's hear you. working with the minister, because Ghana is only comparable to South Africa in terms of our access to rural electrification. Now, yesterday I was with you on the floor of the parliament when your budget was approved. So you are right with the number of 85%. And even that we said you can do more than that. So when should we anticipate that we would have achieved 100% coverage?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think earliest time possible. Thank you.
Honorable Kujo, congratulations. I will do one follow-up question on my honorable brothers, Honorable Jato's
You
question.
have two options. How
yes,
you use it is up
I'll
to you.
use it, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Honorable, I think the question was the transmission losses from the production to distribution, because we have learned that there are so much losses in between there. This thing, what are you going to do in helping the minister to solve that problem, because we need energy?
Transmission losses at the moment, according to PURC figures I saw just at the weekend, ranges below 4.5%. Distribution losses at the level of over 20% currently. These are not problems that you would say, as a deputy minister, you can have a technical hands-on. It is the managerial hands-on, managing the problem, managing the technical people, setting objectives for them, helping the minister to achieve this. That's the way it would work. So that is what I would do, help my minister to solve the problem, because it filters into energy pricing. Thank you.
Honorable, is Dumso a thing of the past now?
As you experience it. Thank you.
You know that today
Mr. Chairman, I'm
done. Today, and the minority leader said it is presso. So that is what we experience now. But he wants your word that past or present is that a capacity or fuel or finance. So you tell us, and in terms of capacity, fuel or finance, are we out of the woods yet?
Thank you, Chairman. I must say that the solution we are dealing with, the situation we are dealing with, it's precautiously stable. You cannot say it is because the dimensions are the finance, goes to do with technical, and these are not problems you can say, and then fueling. These are not problems you can use a couple of days to deal with. Economy must be managed to get better, and the financial capacity we have to deal with it solved. So it takes time for us to make the solution a durable one, an enduring one, and then we can say we have a solution as I envisage it. Thank you.
Much, Mr. Chairman, and congratulations, Honorable Joseph Kujo. I want to begin with your own recent record on national projects. You led a team of 5 MPs from the Western region last year, and you did frustrate President Mahama a lot, and he had to state publicly that you and your colleagues had delayed his Takoradi port expansion project. With hindsight, do you think that that action that you engaged in was in the interest of the nation and the Western region for that matter? And now that you are going to be a Deputy Minister of Energy, you'll be undertaking a lot of national projects. Will you encourage that members of Parliament like me should team up with other MPs and be engaging in the kind of conduct that you engaged in previous years?
It wasn't a case of trying to put a stop to the project because it was going to benefit Western Region and create jobs for us, except that we went to court on the basis of law, that there was exclusivity law aspect of the agreement which infringes on an existing law which established GAPUA, Ghana Port and Harbours Authority. And we thought that the project was good, but that must be attended to. That is why, not to stop the project, but to get that cured. Thank you. I must use the word lost the case. We didn't pursue it again. Thank you.
Chairman, sorry, just to provide, probably for want of information, I served on the Cabinet Committee which worked on the Atuabo gas project. And for the record, the Chief Executive of GAPUA was part of the process. As and when you assume office, I'll give you a final report of it. So what was the exclusivity problem? Just to clarify, what about exclusivity?
It had to do with GAPUA, Ghana Port and Harbours Authority. How do I put it? Kind of prevent, the agreement was to prevent GAPUA from doing oil and gas business, which will be exclusive right of Lonro and that Atuabo Freeport to have done it for 25 years, make enough profit, and even had an option of renewal. And we thought it didn't bode well for GPHA.
Chairman, you nominee, we can understand, but you see your conclusion, you are worried about profit. You should have been worried about Lonro's investment and how to recoup the investment over a 25-year period. But certainly, as you said, I'm sure if it had taken off, more employment would have been generated for the teeming unemployed youth in the Western region. It's regrettable that it's a delayed project. Chairman, I'll yield the floor again to the Honorable Kujetu. Thank you.
Unfortunately, when the chairman jumps into the fray, we'll take it like that. My final question to you, there is an unsigned document making the rounds on social media and other media outlets, and the claim is that it is a special committee's report on Ameri. You have been, preparing for this vetting at the ministry, talking to the minister and all of that. Are you aware of any report on Ameri and the report being discussed in the media and social media? Are we to give it any currency? Is there any merit in all of what is going on around that Ameri issue? And if the ministry has a report, why don't you put it out officially and so we can all discuss it?
I'm very sorry, but I'm not aware of any such report. Thank you.
Of information before, I think I now know what is going on. Finally, I want to take you to page 38 of the MPP manifesto. You have this statement on the third paragraph, that whilst the president is engaged in questionable power procurement, our dedicated state-owned power infrastructure, from which revenue is generated by utilities, is collapsing. Akosombo has constantly been overdrafted. Thermal plants are frequently breaking down, and all our plants operate below capacity, unquote. You have been preparing for this vetting. You are a vice chairman. You were vice chairman of the Mines and Energy Committee. Do you stand by this statement in your manifesto?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Why do you stand by it? What is the justification? You are talking about science. What is the basis for standing by it?
The reason why I stand by it is that Akosombo overdrafted came up as a situation of fact. We learned from VRA when we met them on the subject matter. And the situation was, according to them, technically wrong, but was being used to solve a prevailing doom so we're in. So it was like doing the evil to create a good. That was the situation then. So I stand by the fact as it stands there.
Including Akosombo collapsing.
That's enough. Thank
are
you
you
very
aware
much.
that you are overdrafting now even more than was happening under the NDC?
Is that in the manifesto you referred to?
No,
The overdrafting now.
Yes, overdrafting is here.
Well, when he becomes a minister, you ask him the question about overdrafting. But who else is here now?
Honorable Kujo, congratulations. And what will you be doing to support your minister to deepen the deregulation of the petroleum or power sector?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I must say that deepening deregulation must come, whatever policies and actions and programs that will be implemented must come from the minister. And my role is to support him in that. I cannot, at this stage, make pronouncement on anything that suggests a policy situation. So I must say I will support him in the actions he takes to deepen the regulation, if he so decides to do. Thank you.
And now, Deputy Minister Designate, have you declared your asset compliant with the provisions of the Constitution?
Filing, thank you, Chairman. In filing for my candidature to contest the just ended elections in December 2016, I declared my asset and filed it. I filed it. Thank you.
Says that at any time you begin a new session, you file. You started a new session on 7th January. You have up to 7th April. If you haven't done it, do it. Now you're still within the law, but please do it.
The nominee's CV that he attended a review workshop, National Dissemination Conference on Fighting Corporate Corruption. You wanted to share with this committee what appears to be corruption of the corporate sector of Ghana.
Chairman, thank you. What it is that normally we have pointed at the state institutions and the parastatals as the corrupt ones. But what came out of that conference, which was as a result of a research over a period, was that the private corruption, it takes two people to engage in corrupt practice, and that the private sector itself was willing to facilitate corruption. So they end up being the givers, and then at the end of the other side, there are the receivers for corruption cycle to be perpetuating. So if the private sector practices effective corporate governance, that the structures are really working, then it will be minimized on their side, and the public sector, which is the receiving end, would the corruption will be solved. That was what the conference sought to conclude. Thank you.
I've heard the president talk about making corruption a felony, which is dealing with the end results of punitive action. By this conference, do you share the view that the problem is detection?
Chairman, I agree with this assertion completely, because the giver and the taker are all willing to do that. So the problem rather is detection. And if we can solve the problem, create evidence, then the law can take it up from there. I agree with the assertion. Thank you.
Or your minister indicated to you what your role will be at the Ministry of Energy?
Chairman, not at the moment. Thank you.
Still responsible for petroleum, another power, another finance and infrastructure. Where do you belong?
I belong to where you heard it from.
That you ensure effective and full implementation, supporting your minister to execute the second compact.
Thank you. My assurance would be what the minister decides. I would go by it, and the assurance arises from there.
1981 up through 1997, 1998 to 2007 and 2008, and now 2014 to 17. You have a dumso, preso. What is it that we need to fix to avoid those occurrences in terms of the power sector?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would say that the financial, fueling, my thinking is that when it comes to the technical aspects, the generators are out there, the fuel sources are out there, and if you have money, you can buy the generators. If you have money, you can buy the fuel. They are there. So the financial...
If you don't have money, you buy the lights off. Or you buy them, so is that... Can I add that?
Yeah, thank you. It is just like we have placed so much emphasis on buying the generators, but we should just realize that just acquiring the power plant is just one leg of it. You must have the financial muscle to be consistently and continuously be fueling it. So if you don't have that financial wherewithal, then doing so.
So do you share the view that if you look at hydro compared to thermal, hydro is cheaper, but Ghana now has moved to an expanded regime of thermal in terms of generation. Do you share the view that we need to do gas in order to keep the equipments active to improve generation?
I would say when it comes to the generation, there are opportunities to explore beyond the hydro. Before you reach gas, we can even explore mini hydros, and you come to gas if we have it available at a cost that is good. And then there are the renewables option. What is important for us is to create and generate a mix which is optimum. Optimum in the sense of giving us effective tariff, and at the same time avoiding possible doom source, if I should use the word again. Thank you.
Your minister is here, except that he has whispered that he will weigh the weight of your tongue to assign you. So be careful whether doom or power. Chairman, I'm done. Thank you.